news. Today's video is a craft box subscription battle royale between Sophie and Toffee's Elves Box and the Craft Kitsune box, previously known as Kawaii Craft Kits. Though it's not gonna really be a battle royale, it's not that intense. They're craft kits after all, but the Sophie and Toffee Elves Box is more of a resin craft subscription service where they solely give you resin craft kits each month, so you know you're gonna get some type of resin, whether it be AB, UV, or some other type, plus molds, glitters, dyes, everything you need to create a resin craft that month, where Craft Kitsune is a box with a totally different set of variety kind of crafts. You may get a resin craft kit, but they've also done things like deco den, needle felting, and clay kits, so it's sort of a mixed bag. So already right there, before I even continue on with these particular boxes right here, you may have already made up your mind, because maybe you're only interested in resin craft kits, or maybe your interests are much broader and you want to try a whole bunch of different kinds of crafts. So that kind of already tells you which box you might be leaning towards, but we're still going to take a look at these boxes here because we're also going to go over prices, values, but also because the October Craft Kitsune box is pretty identical to the November Sophie and Toffee boxes. They are both very light resin type projects, but I thought it was interesting that they were 1 month apart doing very similar projects, and that's why I thought this needs a comparison video. So to start off, let's check out the Sophie and Toffee's Elves Box, which is the box that I'm more familiar with. I've had this subscription service for almost a year now, so I know a little bit more about it, so hopefully that won't skew the results of this little test here we're doing, this little experiment. But Sophie and Toffee does have two different subscription boxes. They have their regular box for $34.95 and their premium box for $48.95. So you can decide to do the basic project, or you could get a little bit more craft supplies with the premium box. It's the same basic project, you just get more with the premium. So I did opt out for the premium one, so my box cost me $48.95 as shipping is free. The Craft Kitsune box, on the other hand, is $34.99 per month, so it is the same price as the regular Elves subscription box. However, the month that I signed up for this one, which is their October box, I did do some add-ons. When I was checking out, I could add a basic resin starter kit to my box, which included some measuring cups and stirring sticks, which I did opt not to do just because I do have my basic supplies already. And then there was a second add-on for this month as well, where instead of getting 2 molds, you could double that and get 4 different molds, which I did do because I wanted all of the animal molds that they had in the October box. So that was $8 extra. So with the upgrade, it does come close to the Sophie and Toffee's premium box, so I think it'll still be a pretty fair comparison. So now that we have all of that out of the way, let's see what came in each month's box. Let's start out with Sophie and Toffee's Elves Box. So this month's theme for November 2019 was Light Up My World. As I mentioned, they both had very light resin craft themes. So if you just got the regular box, you would have received Sophie and Toffee's AB epoxy resin, 200 grams total, some dreamy blue holographic flakes, silicone measuring cup, wooden mixing sticks, so you got 2 of those. Also this beautiful 3D castle silicone mold, and a set of blue LED lights. Because I got the premium box, I also got their second project, which included a snowflake mirror wand mold, a snowflake acrylic mirror, winter-themed holographic film, and also another set of fairy lights. This time it's a colorful LED set. Then we have the Craft Kitsune box, which is from October 2019, and their theme was LEDs in resin. We also got 2-part resin in 200 milliliters, a meter-long LED light strand which has 10 lights, a 2-meter-long LED light strand which has 20 lights. We got a semi-clear pigment dye in light purple, some chunky glitter, but this time it's 12 different colors and we get smaller portions of each. We also get a limited pin design, and for our molds we get a large alphabet and numbers mold. And then if you didn't get the buy-up, you would have received an animal figure mold either randomly, or if you signed up at the very beginning of the sign up period, you could have chosen yours. But since I signed up late and didn't get to choose mine, that's where I went with the upgrade, and I got all 3 molds for this month, which includes a unicorn, a bunny rabbit, and a little deer. So as you can see, both of these boxes are really similar, not just with the monthly theme, but also with the products that were included. Both boxes gave us 200 milliliters of AB resin, which is pretty generous. Both boxes also included 2 sets of LED lights, so you could make 2 different craft projects with those LED lights without going out and buying additional materials, except for maybe more resin just in case you needed it. Overall, I think both boxes gave you similar items to make similar crafts. However, they are slightly different. But before I can say if one is worth it over the other one, or what I can recommend or anything like that, I actually had to try and make these projects, because that's half of the fun of these boxes. They're not just about getting an assortment of items. That's a fun sort of opening special present to yourself each month, but you actually get to make and create your own projects, which is what I really love about these craft kits. So for the Sophie and Toffee Elves Box craft, for this video I decided to make the little castle, which could have been made with the regular box as well. And what I really loved about Sophie and Toffee's box this month is it told you how much resin the molds needed, which they hadn't done in the past. But I still had to guess a little bit, because when I made my castle project, I was actually doing it in 2 different parts. So the actual castle part, I used the beautiful glitter flakes there, and I also added some dye that I already had just to make it a little bit more blue, and then I stuck the blue lights inside. And I really suggest, if you're going to be doing an LED light project, you kind of get an idea of where you want your LED lights to fall before you start mixing and making your whole project here. So that's just what I did, and then I mixed my resin together, put in the flakes, the colors, and then poured it into the mold. And of course with AB resin you do have to wait 24 to 48 hours. So I had to wait for that to harden first, and then I started my second part and I mixed together this beautiful green color. I used some glitters from previous Elves Box because I really wanted that sort of beautiful spring meadow feel to it. So then I filled that second part in and waited for that to harden. So while I was waiting for the castle to finish, I also started on my Craft Kitsune project, and for this one I decided to use the cute little deer. Now for the most part I used the products that were in both boxes, and yeah, I did add a little bit extra just to add a little bit more personality to mine. So for this one I didn't end up using the light purple magenta dye color, and it was a lot easier to select my color because they gave you the white lights, so you could really kind of mix it in. So I decided to go with a green and gold theme for my cute little deer. Mixed it all together after figuring out where I wanted to place my lights, and poured it in. So this one was a little bit easier since I did it all one color. But after the resin had time to harden, it was time to pull them out. And normally this is one of my favorite parts of resin crafts, is the demolding, but both of these molds were really difficult to get the pieces out of. With the Craft Kitsune one, it was a little bit easier as the mold was thinner, so it was a little bit more stretchy than the other one, but once I got to the neck of the deer, then I had to really pull it over the head to get it out, so my hands were definitely sore after demolding this one. And then I went right on to do the castle one, which maybe I should have waited a little bit. So trying to take this one out was so much harder to do, and I actually scraped my hands on the resin a little bit. So it was a little bit painful process overall, and sadly with my castle mold it did end up sticking a lot more, and it actually shredded a bit of the inside, so I don't think I can reuse my castle mold at all. So with the castle mold, and maybe even the other molds where you have such large weird shapes to try to demold your resin product from, it would be a good idea to use resin release so the resin doesn't stick to it as much and will slide out much easier, which is something I wish I had done. I also saw a suggestion from another YouTuber. Hi Aisha Shasha, if you are watching, she had this great idea to put baby oil and inject it into the mold right before you were removing the castle, and that seemed to help her out a bit, so I definitely suggest using one of those methods if you are going to use this castle mold. So with all said and done, I think that I had a couple of really cute pieces that came out of each box. So of course here is our light up castle from the Sophie and Toffee Elves box, which I'm really happy with. I also added a few 3D flowers that came from a Sakura mold that we got in a previous box. So I really love how this came out, and the blue tinge to it all makes it just more dreamy and fun. And then as you guys saw as well with the Craft Kitsune box, we have the little light up deer, which I also think came out really cute. Now in both of these I also used transparent dyes so that the lights could shine more brightly through the resin, but also you may notice that you can see the light strings inside, whether it's on or off as well, so it's kind of just more of the look you're going for. But overall, that is the projects that you can make out of both of these boxes. When it all comes down to it, which box is better, which one has the better crafts, which one gives you more bang for your buck? And you know what? I'm gonna have to go back to my beginning statement and say that if you are someone who is into resin crafts only and you really like the ideas that are coming out of the Sophie and Toffee Elves box, then this is definitely this box you should subscribe to. However, if you are someone who is more into trying different kinds of crafts, whether it be resin or clay or deco-den, then check out Craft Kitsune because they are going to give you more of a variety. However, if you're someone who's still stuck in between, both of them are your traditional subscription boxes where if you sign up, you get charged each month for the boxes. However, you can sign up for 1 month's box and cancel the subscription before the next charge. You just have to remember to cancel. And then it's just like you're trying the box for just 1 month to see what you think about it. As I said, this isn't a true battle royale. These boxes aren't fighting for their lives because honestly, I think both of them are really great. I believe they're both worth the money. If you go on just different websites, and even Sophie and Toffee has their own website, and you try to buy all the products inside, you're gonna spend more than you would if you just bought the box, and that's definitely the case. Because with Sophie and Toffee, most of the time, the products that are in their boxes are gonna be up on the site, and if you add up all the product prices from their website that came in the box, you're gonna be spending more than you would in the box. So that's another nice thing about subscription boxes. Sorry, there is not a true winner or a clear fight here because I truly do think both of the boxes are worth your money. Again, it's just what you're looking for. Do the sneak peeks catch your eye? Is that a project you really wanna do? But yeah, I hope you guys at least learned something from this video. If you guys are into craft subscription boxes, which one of these was your favorite? Are you subscribed to either of these? Let me know in the comments down below while I still hopefully have them. I'll see you guys next time. Bye, Peekabloos!